Is this you where you're doing a squat and you feel like you just hit a wall, where you can't get down any lower? You might feel like your joints lock up or your muscles are gonna tear? If that's you, don't worry. So the good thing is, it might not even be anything to do with your strength. You could be plenty strong, but you need to increase your flexibility or mobility to get your joint out of its own way. So I'm going to show you some ways you can do that. Do you have locked hip rotators during your squat? Do you even know how to tell if you do? So if you're doing a squat and you can't get your knees apart, or they even worse, come together, you know your hip rotators are really tight. So to stretch the rotators, you're going to cross your right leg over your left one, grab underneath your left hand thigh, and pull up till you feel a stretch in the right hip, deep in that hip socket. Now when you're doing a squat, are the muscles on the inside of your thigh actually limiting how deep you can go? Do you feel a pulling sensation? Here's a stretch you can do to open up your hips. Now stretch the muscles on the inner thigh. You're gonna start in a kneeling position. From here, you're gonna step one foot out to the side and then let your hips drop back behind you, sitting back into the hips, feeling a stretch on the inner part of your thigh, all the way from the knee to the hip. Now, are your ankles limiting your squat? You can tell this because your heel will actually lift up off the ground as you're going down, putting your weight onto your toes and not onto your heels. So to deal with that, we're gonna stretch your calf. So to stretch your calf, what you're gonna do is take a large step forward, pushing your back heel down towards the ground, trying to keep your knees straight. You should feel a stretch all along the back of your calf down into the tendon down here. Now, if you're squatting, you're gonna want to also be strengthening your core. Now, a lot of people think of sit-ups when doing that, but that's actually not the muscles you want to be strengthening to really protect your low back. Here's a video on some exercises you can do to strengthen your core and help protect your spine. Now for your squat, are the muscles on the inside of your thigh actually, inside of your thigh, are the muscles on the inside of your thigh actually limiting your movement?